Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part 4 of our N8N automation series. In our previous videos, in part 1, we installed and ran N8N locally. In part 2, we created our first workflow. In part 3, we worked with webhooks and HTTP requests to outside external APIs. So in this video, we will build a real DevOps automation using GitHub and Slack. So what we are going to build, let's see that. So today we are building an automation where a GitHub push event triggers an 8N. So if you are seeing, we require a GitHub account with a repository in place that will be capturing the push event happening on the repository. Then an 8N will process that commit information and sends a Slack notification to the team. The so this is a very common DevOps and ChatOps use case. Okay, so let's move ahead. In this, we are going to create a workflow. So let's start with creating a new workflow. So we are going to open N8N in our local host, and we click on new workflow, create workflow button, and let's name it as GitHub to Slack DevOps automation. So we have named this workflow, and let's move ahead. Before we start, let's understand why webhooks are important. So GitHub Webhooks allows us to notify external systems whenever an event happens, something like the code push, pull request, merge request, or release. So instead of polling GitHub, events are sent instantly. So instead of polling the events are sent instantly to the endpoint. So that is why we are using GitHub webhooks. Adding the webhook trigger, that is our main thing. So let's add our trigger. So we click on add node and select the webhook. So this is the webhook that we have selected. Let's configure this webhook node. So it will be requiring HTTP method as as the post method. Okay, and path would be, let's name it as GitHub dash webhook. This is our path. Respond mode would be using respond to webhook node. Okay, this would be our respond mode. This generates a webhook URL that GitHub will call. So this is the thing that we have done. So when we close this node editor, it will by default save this thing. So as soon as we close that editor, our node configuration would be saved. So now next what we are going to see is exposing our local N8N to the internet, because our N8N is running locally, and some external internal internet based webhook like the GitHub based would not able to send events to our local system. So what we are going to use, we are going to use ngrok for this system. So this is my ngrok in place, and just I will run ngrok http 5678 on which port my uh, that N8N is running. So as soon as I done this thing, it gives me a HTTPS endpoint that I can use it. So this gives us a public HTTPS URL. We will use this URL in the GitHub. Okay. So our next step is configuring GitHub Webhook. So now let's configure the webhook in GitHub. I have already created a repository, and in the settings of the repository, we click on webhooks. We click on webhooks. Okay. We click on add a webhook. We can verify via mail and it will send us a OTP that we can use it to confirm the access. So once the access is configured, we click on add webhook. That is our thing. So our payload URL would be, as you can see, it would be something look like our ngrok URL. This is our ngrok URL. Just copy this thing. This is our ngrok URL. Then we write our node endpoint that we have written, which is GitHub minus webhook. Okay, webhook, GitHub minus webhook. And content type would be application JSON, and events would be just the push events. Okay, this is our configuration that we have done. Let's save the webhook. Before saving, let me go through it once again. So this is my ngrok URL, HTTPS URL that is created when we run this command, ngrok http 5678, that will do the port forwarding thing. Then we have added this webhook, GitHub webhook. It is coming from our node. If you open this node and if you open the production URL, this is our production URL, which it looks like webhook, GitHub webhook. This localhost 5678 is replaced by our ngrok endpoint. So let's close this thing and come back to the add webhook and click on add webhook. As soon as we add the webhook, uh, it will send this thing. Don't worry, it will be fine once we configure all the things. So we come back to our channel and we publish this version so that it would be saved. Okay. Now what we are going to see, we are going to check triggering a GitHub event. So if you overcome this in the executions also, nothing is there. If you refresh this page, nothing executions have happened. No executions have happened. And if you see the ngrok, any request have gone through. It was saying that post request webhook GitHub webhook 404 not found because that published version was not there. Let's check it once again. We edit it and we update the webhook once again. We try to redeliver. Okay, let's see whether it is so it is saying 500 internal server error. As we know, it is reachable, but our respond node is not existing like as we have done in the last video. So it will just show the internal error, which is fine. Okay. So let's inspect our GitHub payload. So back in N8N, click on the webhook node. So this is webhook node. Here you can see the all those things, repository name, branch, commit message, author. This is the real data coming from the GitHub. So let me show where it looks like. This is our error node, and if you open it, just open this thing. This is the error output which it is showing. So most probably our options would not be visible because that has not sent the response. So what we can do, we can omit this thing and let's move ahead while configuring. Unless and until we have configured the response node, we can't see that thing. So let's process the data. Our next node would be data processing part. So what we are going to do, let's process the data. So we add a set node. We search for set node, edit the fields, and we do the data mapping here. Okay. And as soon as we set this node, we would be able to see. Before setting this node, let's check one more thing in the webhook. As a response to the webhook, this is my response file which is coming. So this is all. This is the configuration. Like any redirect, we want to do any text, no data, or binary file. So let's have a add a response success with a value true, and we close this. We save this thing. We publish this version. We publish this version and try to check the webhook once again. We try to redeliver it, the payload. So this time a green color icon comes up because webhook has received a 200 response with a success true, because we have enabled a response node to the webhook in our N8N workflow. So this is sending the request and this is the payload what it is sending. So repository and all those things. So to map it correctly, let's open the executions that it has done. So this is the execution that it has done. Let's open the webhook execution. So this is the webhook execution it has received. And if you see this thing, this is the repository, this is the sender details, and this is the body. It contains the headers, and this is the complete output of the parameter looks like. If you go to the body, so this is my body. If you go to the hook, this is this information it is containing. Repository, this is the information. Okay. And what are the things we need to map it? Let's map it. So if you require any other information, you can have it, like the repository name, or any other thing. So these are the few information that we can have. And the branch and all those things that it is required, we can achieve it. Okay. So if any commit message is there or anything is there, that we can test it. So let's do a thing. Let's test a message. So what I will be doing, I will be cloning this repository, adding a file, and see what is the webhook flow looks like. So what we will be doing, we will be cloning this project. Let me clone it and open it in the local. So I have already cloned the repository in my local. Let's add a file called testfile.txt, and this is my test file. Let's added test file. So as soon as I push this thing, let's generate a commit message and commit and push. As soon as I commit this message, it will let me show it is asking for certain authentication. Let me first authenticated this thing. Okay, so it has successfully authenticated and my commits message are visible here. So I have inserted a file. If I go back to the repository and refresh the repository page, it will, my file would be there. So my file is existing on the, let's see that whether the execution has happened or not. If I refresh this page, yeah, my execution has happened. A new execution has happened. Let's open it. This is my webhook looks like, and it contains the full complete information, and it contains the repository information with the full name, and there would be indeed some commit messages also. These are the commits. This is the commit information, and this is the message which it looks like. This is the message. This is the message that we have added as a commit message. And these are the few things we are going to add it in our channel. So what we can do, we copy to editor, we open this thing. So this is my output which it looks like. Okay, we scroll down to the message part. This is what it looks like. Let's edit them. Now the complete data is visible. It would be easy now to do the mapping. This is how we do mapping in the N8N fields. So let's do certain mapping. So first the map would be repository name. So repository name, you can get it from which thing. So this is my repository full name. Either you can copy this thing or this thing also. Both would be same. So repository name would be this one. Uh, we can just put it here like this. This is my repository name. Let's add another field. Let's add another field with a branch. It is referencing to. So if we scroll down, when any commit happens, it refers to a certain branch. So it is referencing to certain branch. Let me search for that word. So instead of doing this thing, what we can do, we can have a commit reference ID or some referencing we can add so that we can know in which referencing it has occurred. If I get branch reference details, so let's leave this thing. So what we can do, we add some author details. It is not required anymore, so let's leave it. For the author, we can add the author details as the name, email, date, and the username. We can add these things. So for the author details, like author name, we can have this name as the field. Okay. If you want to pick it from here, that is also good. But you will not get the message, so we will use it this one. We can add another field as author email. We can add this as this value here, and let's have a date when it has pushed, so we can add this value here. And the last thing what we can do, add some messages that we have used, so we can add commit message. In any commit messages there, so we can add this message like this. So this is the complete mapping that we have done. So why this is required? Because we are doing certain data transformation part that would help me in putting the data into my Slack. So if I execute this step, so you can see directly I would be getting this details from here. From the large chunk of data, I would be getting certain the required information that I need to have. Okay. So the next thing would be configuring the Slack node. So now let's send a Slack notification. So to send a Slack notification, we add a Slack node. We click on this one. Add a Slack node. And once this is done, we will test the complete workflow. Let's open the Slack. In this thing, first we connect our Slack node. So what we are going to do here is we are going to send a message. This is the action that we are going to do. And once the message is sent, we would be using that thing. Okay, so let's use a node called send a message. In this message, what we are going to configure, we configure our certain credentials. So we will create credentials. So there are two types, OAuth2 or access token. This is the two things that you can have. So if I just go back to my APIs and basic information. What are the details it is requiring to have access token and signature secret. So if you want to open the docs, you can also have the docs from here. So API, these are the API access token, and once we create the in the left menu there is OAuth and permissions. We can get it from there. So if you are using the Slack trigger as a webhook, we can also use this thing. So once we create a Slack app and add this thing, what we are going to do in the channel, so in the authenticating methods, Slack credentials, we need to configure uh, the incoming information or the auth require, which is needed to be done. That we require the authentication part. So we open the N8N back again. So this is the connection that we need to save. So before doing that, let's do a thing. This is my N8N UI, and if I go back to the overview, this is my looks like. If I go to the credential, let me add a credential. So we select the Slack so that I can globally use this thing. So there is a Slack API and Slack Auto API. We use the Slack API. So this is the authentic access token it is asking, and the signature, that is the same thing that it is that it requires. Okay. So then we after creating the connection details, and we move ahead. So let's add our credential. We select the Slack. So we select the Slack OAuth2. We continue this thing, and this is my use this URL when to enter the OAuth callback or the redirect URL. This is my redirect URL, and that it looks like this one. Let's get our credential client ID, and to get the client ID, what we need to do, we need to go back to our Slack page. This is my API Slack page, and there is a OAuth and permissions section. So this is my redirect URLs and all those we need to add, and what we need to do. So let's add our credentials here. So this is my auth URL, redirect URL. So let me add it here. This one. If you are not able, if it is saying this thing, we can add it like this and replace our ng-rock. with this one, and let's add it for testing. We copy this thing and go back to our we need to provide the information. We copy this ID and use it in our credentials here. So this is my credential, looks like this is my auth token, and we would be using it to check the certain details. Okay, so this is my client ID in the basic information page. Let's copy and paste it here. And this is my client secret, which I copy and paste like this. And we click on connect my account. Okay, it is not matching the redirect URI. So we need to do certain changes in the redirect URI, which is OAuth and permissions. Let's copy the redirect URI. So let me check why it is not adding the HTTP. It is localhost. Let's try with another credential. Let's try with this. Okay, now the connection is tested successfully. We close this thing. Oh, thanks, and let's get back to our node quickly, because sometimes the credentials happen to be hectic to configure. So now this thing will be there. So my resource would be message. Okay, let's move ahead with the our configuration of the Slack node. So once the Slack node is configured, what we are going to do, we are going to post a message to this thing, and send message to it would be a channel, and from the channel list Let me check why it is not able to fetch my channel list. So let's see how we solve that problem. So the problem is regarding the credentials that we are trying to establish in the N8N Slack node. The issue here is with the redirect URL. So what we have added, this is the redirect URL. Once you redirect the use the redirect URL, reinstall the actionable that workspace that you have created and go back to the basic information. And here is the client secret and the client ID. Just copy this thing and set up in the node. So once you open it, this should look like this: client ID and client secret. So you are seeing that it has been updated from the local host to ngrok ngrok URL or the host name. So how I updated it? So we need to go back where we have started N8N start command. Before that, we are running these four lines to make the host which is there to be as the appropriate ngrok what we are using. So we have set the host, we have set the protocol, we have set the port and webhook URL. So this is the complete thing. And once we done the N8N start it, starts the N8N on the specific URL. And when we go back and authenticate our system, or if we try to open it and reconnect it, so you would be seeing that it is successfully authenticated. So there is no issue. If you just click on allow once again, it is successful. Connection is successful. Why it is successful? Our redirect URL is working. So this was the issue which I was facing, and we try to solve it by this. So the next thing is we let me open our workflow. So this is my workflow. This is let me open the webhook edit fields. So in this we are fetching the data of the repositories, messages, and all those things. Then we are creating a message. This is the message how it looks like. Once the message is received, it is sent to the Slack channel, and we send a response to the webhook that success is done. So once we send the message or any push event to the repository, this will message will appear. So let's try to do this thing once again, and then we wind up with this video. So let me edit a third file, which is we called as test file 3.txt. Put it under this thing and third test file. So this is the file which I have created. Let me generate a commit message, and once the commit message is generated, we commit and push this file. Once the file is pushed to the repository, a event will trigger. A webhook event which is attached to the repository will trigger, and that in turn will trigger a workflow. That workflow which has triggered will do certain data manipulations after reading the data and send the message to the Slack channel, as we can see that. So as we can see, we have received the message in the Slack at the current time, and if we open the workflow executions at the current time, it has also executed. So just to open, we open the message field. Let's open the message field, what message we are receiving. So this is the message added third test file. So that is the message that we have sent, and it has sent it to the appropriate Slack channel. So this is how we have done the configuration of our workflow, in which we have used in which, as you can see, we have used a webhook. Then we have used data transformation node, which is the edit fields. Then we have used a send a message node, which is the Slack app in the N8N, and finally we have used respond to webhook. So these are the four nodes that we have set up, and this marks the end of the video. And in the configuration of the credentials issue that we have faced, we have solved that. If you have any issue, again, just let me in the comment section. I will try to solve your problem once again. So if you have any doubt, just let me know in the comment section as well. So what to do next? What we are planning to do next? So this is the project that we have completed, and finally we are going to see the complete recap. Let's do the summary as well, what we built today. So we have built a webhook trigger, as I have said. So we have done the data processing part, then we have done the Slack notification, and finally it is kind of a DevOps automation. So in the part five, in the part five, what we are trying to handle, we will be trying to handle the error handlings, retries mechanism, workflow best practices, and certain annotated production ready workflows. So those are the few workflows what we will be seeing. So in the next video, let's move to the next video, and thank you for watching this video. Leave the comments if you face any doubts.